7th.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were two of us in the studio. Now we have been joined by another very distinguished guest and a friend, personal friend I might add, Mr. Nadeem Qadir. Until very recently, the press minister at Bangladesh Embassy in London. Mr. Nadeem Qadir is a very well-known journalist, a very well-known thinker, and he has a very valid and very far-reaching insight into the politics of Bangladesh as well as the subcontinent. Welcome to the show, Nadeem bhai.
Thank you, Neaz bhai, for having me. It's a pleasure.
How are you?
Good, very good. Going back home, it's
great to see you. That you are all, so very well dressed and probably coming from another party.
No, I'm coming to your program, and that is why I'm dressed.
He's always very dapper.
Thank you. So, how do you feel now that you have been transferred to Dhaka?
No, I'm not transferred. I was on contract for 2 years with the government, which expired in May, and I think it's been an experience for different kind, working in a foreign land, learning the British press and everything, and also an insight into how the bureaucracy works in the missions. So all put together, I would say I'm delighted to have had this opportunity, and then I would like to thank my Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina for giving me this opportunity and the trust. And I tried my best to do things, and you will judge how much I could do.
You said you are delighted for this experience, but are there any regrets?
Well, yeah, I think so, because I would say that there are areas where I wanted to do few things. I wish I could have more support from the colleagues, and also back home, because like if I want to say I want to do this, and I wouldn't know the funds needed or the other things. So those are the things I think I would have loved to have more support, and we need more materials, because when I joined the London Press Club, the first Bangladeshi, I was stunned to see also that so many journalists working in major newspapers, oh, you have a mission here. I was shocked. 46 years of Bangladesh and all that.
So and they had impossible.
Yeah. So they had to ask. They were asking me a few questions.
Covert mission.
Yeah.
007.
So they were asking me, that okay, tell us that, tell us that. And I realized that we need more documents, Class C documents, not the kind that is being produced, of a different taste that attracts them. Documentaries on Bangladesh.
But you did produce a few.
Yeah, I did. But even the one I did, it was possible because of Her Excellency the Prime Minister, because it was getting stuck everywhere, and finally she had to intervene. And so.
But probably you have the access to Prime Minister, but otherwise.
Can I add something after you finish?
You have the access, so you can reach her and she can approve. But it would be very difficult life for anybody else who tried to do that, and then
yes, but I disagree with you. If you have a mission, if you are determined to do a few things, you can do it. I feel that's how I've seen it in this career. There are always obstacles in life. And
having said that, you were only able to produce 1 or 2 such material.
Yeah, it's not. It's only 2 years, and then you have to reschedule these things with the major publications. So they have their own rules and regulations and other things. Then you have to get to know, get to plan, get approval. So all these things. I wish I could do more. But what I could do,
could things be streamlined a little bit more? Because we all talk about digital, this, digital, that.
Yeah, that was on digital also. There was a magazine within the Financial Times of London, and it's called On the Spot Bangladesh, and then it was online also for 1 year. So I think, as you said, we could have done more, but under the circumstances, I think I'm happy that I could at least do that. And if we talk about access, I wouldn't like to use that word. I think the head of government is such a person. She likes people who works. She
Yeah.
tries to support them, and she has seen my work, and so that's how I'm here in London. You know, I
Right.
never even dreamt of it. I mean,
Right.
I'm a journalist. So I think it's not the access; it's the thing that if you prove yourself,
Right.
she will recognize you, and she will try to give you the support.
Thank you. Thank
Just
you.
one line.
Right.
When she came here, soon after I arrived in London in 2015, and I was telling her of the things I needed and all that, you know, she instructed people that he's trying to do, you help.
Right.
And some British Bangladeshis here, they did help me. And
Only some.
oh, well, at least there was someone. But I would, if you don't mind, I would like to name him, you know. So, no, I would like to name him if you permit. But if you don't say it's okay. But I'm very grateful to that person. If he's seeing, he will know what.
Right.
But may I just add one thing?
Yeah, sure.
When he joined, we happened to have common friends back home.
Right.
But I haven't had the opportunity to meet His Excellency. But well, I said to him one day,
No, you mean
in Bangladesh, I haven't met
has
him.
he been nominated as
No,
ambassador?
I mean, I'm just saying. But one thing I told him that this was the first time in long 30 years of my UK life, he was the first man who could build a proper bridge with the Bangladeshi diaspora's journalist group in UK. There was no acrimonious relation. That was the beauty of it, because he could reach out, he could really communicate with them and establish a sense of camaraderie which was missing. If you remember Shurma and other newspapers, every time you read, there is a matter about the High Commission. High Commission is perceived upon as the son of the other mother, you know. বৈমাত্রীয় একটা attitude ছিল, that has been dissipated, and it's been really good. And
I
which
think that's because Nadeem Bhai is a
I mean, he established that rapport, and
I was with my colleagues in the London Press Club, London Bangla Press Club, who organized a cha chakra for my departure, and I thanked them that I had sat with you, talked with you, and I said what we had to say, and you honored me.
Right.
6 months after coming here, they had been so professional in addressing issues of the High Commission and Bangladesh. You talk about Surma, you talk about Desh, which are, you know,
all
critical.
of them. Yeah.
Right.
I read all of them, so I know.
Right.
So
Right.
I'm grateful to them that they accepted my logic, and that is possibly because I'm one of them. Always, I said I'm never a amla, I'm always a kamla, you know, not a bureaucrat, but always a worker. So.
Well, at least you can play with the words. Nadeem Bhai, we have been talking about the trouble brewing on our eastern borders.
The Rohingya issue, yes.
The Rohingya issue, see. What is your take on this? I mean, I know there's this long history. We have gone through it. We have been hearing about it. We have been reading about it. Now, the present situation. How to handle, and as you just came in and we were talking about where is our diplomacy? Where is our diplomacy?
Yes, bhai, diplomacy, as I understood on the perspective of Bangladesh or any other country, it doesn't happen on a day. It have to start, and you have to work on it, and it has to mature and all that. You cannot expect an Aladdin's lamp in diplomacy. That's one thing. As a student of international relations, I also believe in that. And that's why you have to be alert on what is happening around you and countries of interest to you. So, like Bangladesh gives so much importance to its relations with Britain. And I'm sorry that today there was possibly a terror attack in a
But this Rohingya issue has been festering for a long time, you see.
that's why I'm coming. In 91, and I think at the end of 91, I started seeing small stories from Cox's Bazar in Bengali newspapers, you know, in Dhaka. And I was working for Agence France Press at the time. And I picked it up and started calling the local reporters there, you know. And they said every day 50, 100 coming. I said, why are they coming? A persecution. They are Muslims. I said, but these are peace-loving people, then why should be they doing this? Said, we don't know what is it, but this is happening. So I told my office in Delhi and went off to Teknaf and all that area where they were coming. When I went, I found out there were hundreds, a couple of thousand people are already crammed into the areas, you know.
But it's 1991.
91. First,
1978, when I was in Rangamati, they came in thousands.
in
You know,
Mumbai.
Rabata Islam
Yep,
was
yep.
working at the time. Yeah.
This has been happening
78,
for-
78 I was,
No, no,
okay.
no,
I was
Nadeem
just,
Qadir Bhai is a young man.
I was just in college.
he can
No, I was in
he
college,
can
but
only
we-
go back to 91.
We saw in 91.
But I'm talking about professional, yeah.
No, but this has been happening for more
Many,
than
many
100
years, yes, that's
more
true.
than 100 years.
I've gone through books about them.
And Bangladesh became independent in 1971. So even if we pick up threats from 1971, where is our diplomacy on this issue?
First of all, I think there was no, until 91, there was no major cross-border exodus of this kind. It first happened in 91, because I remember so well, because when I went there, I found this, and I did the story, and it was a breaking story for the international media that, you know, there was an exodus of the Rohingyas. And terrible things I've seen, you know, how they were fleeing their homeland just because of its religion. It's so sad. And I did so many stories, you know, and the kind of things that happened sometimes reminded me, was it 1971 happening in Myanmar?
Do you remember what was the attitude of the Bangladesh government at that time?
No, obviously, such an exodus for any government in Bangladesh is very difficult to, you know, accept them on a permanent
but
basis.
if you remember, what was their attitude?
No,
How were they behaving?
I remember they were concerned about this exodus. There were statements from the government leaders. They were going to the UN and other places. The UNHCR moved in and all that. So we got a lot of information from the UNHCR, what was happening on the other side of the border and all that. So it was happening. But, you know, it took a very long time to see part of this people to be sent back. And through UNHCR, initially they were saying they're pushing back, which was, I would have thought any time that to do this with any population, sending them into a situation of danger is very cruel and inhuman.
A lot of them crossed over into India.
Yeah,
A lot of them were sent to Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
Where by stroke of luck I met about 6,000
and many of them have Bangladeshi passports, and this is the
No, the Bangladeshi passport, anybody could have Bangladeshi passport. It's not a problem.
Yeah.
I know Pakistani people in Dhaka had Bangladeshi passport.
Those days it was easy.
You could go to passport office and you can make
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But the problem is that's not the problem. What Nadeem Bhai is saying, pushing back is a cruel thing. You can't do it because you are sending him to be killed.
Right.
Right.
So-
that is not a solution. The solution needs to be done diplomatically so that the world wakes up and does something in order for them to have that citizenship which they are missing.
As you said before, that we have got about 160 million people already in the country, you see, and 700,000 would not matter that much, you see.
That's proportionate mathematics.
Rambhai and Niyaz, I would like to intervene here. Why not? Why it does matter? When a chunk of the Rohingyas started permanently staying in the camps, and some of them went out of the camps to mingle with the general population,
Yeah.
the whole social fabric of Cox's Bazar changed. There were increase of crime, and they related to the Rohingyas. The increase of drug smuggling, it was there. Prostitution, it was there. So obviously, you know, and they were taking more jobs in that area. So yes, on grounds of humanity, you can keep them for a certain period of time, but you cannot.
Who consumes those drugs?
Of course, when you
They
have them in the
themselves.
market, people will have it who want to have it. So it is not as important who does
So
it.
where are the law enforcing
No, no, it is a
agencies?
different story, but you have to first see that how much your country can
we
take.
can't just get away by blaming the Rohingyas
We're
for
not
all our
blaming. That
troubles.
is the fact. We're not blaming anybody. We have all this. Bangladesh has always had, and you have seen in the recent cases that the government of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina has taken a stand that, okay, we will shelter them. She has gone to see them.
Well, on this very optimistic note, I hope that things are sorted out. We have to finish off for today. And until next time. when we
Apologies
meet
for being
again.
late.
Not at all, not at all. It was a pleasure meeting, welcoming both of you gentlemen. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here in your
Thank
show.
you very much,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for being with us, and I hope that you have enjoyed the show as much as we have, particularly with these two distinguished persons who are so well aware of the problem on our eastern border. Same time, same channel, next week with some more new guests. Until then, take care.